Hello everyone, you're welcome to Delaware Studios. This is another episode of Android programming. We'll be talking about Android material design animations. No, when we talk about animations, we talk about let's say graphical effects in your application. So we'll be talking about the crossfade, the card flip, the screen slide, the zoom, and also layout changes. Okay, so we'll be looking vividly on these 5 different animation effects. Okay, we'll be using Android Studio as our development environment, whereby I have this animation coded up. All right, I'll be taking you straight to the design of the application. So you can actually use any of these effects in your application. It's not necessarily you use all of these effects. You can decide to use a crossfade, or you can decide to use a card flip transition, or you can also decide to use a screen slide or layout changes. Okay, all right. I'll be going straight to my res. I have my Animator folder, also the drawable where I actually keep all my pictures, and the layout, which is the UI of the application, and the menu and values. We'll be looking at the layout files. We have some XML here. We have the activity card flip, which handles the card flip. We have also the activity crossfade, which handles the crossfade XML, which is the UI of the crossfade. And also for layout changes, we have for the main, which is the default activity. And we have for screen slide, that handles the screen slide. And we have the activity zoom, which also handles the zoom. So we'll be looking at these 4 activities XML quickly. Okay, the activity card flip is a frame layout tag, where we assign an ID, a container, where the layout with an height is match parent. This is simple. Let's look at the crossfade. Okay, the crossfade is also a frame layout, with the layout with an height match parent, where we're going to include, this contains the content view and its children. We're going to include a layout called excerpt content, where we're going to get some excerpts. Okay, the loading indicator view, this view overlaps with the content, so the visibility of these 2 views should be mutually exclusive, which is for the crossfade, where we'll have a progress bar at first, and you can use your snack bar to move over to the next transition. Okay, we have a progress bar. Definitely, we're going to hold a progress bar with a loading spinner, which continues to load, and the layout with an height we set respectively to wrap content. Okay, let's look at the layout changes XML. This is also a frame layout as well, where we're going to have a vertically linear layout in a scroll view. This emulates a list view and is lighter weight than a list view when there aren't many rows. When we don't have much rows, you can use the next and the previous. Okay, we have a scroll view whereby we assign its layout heights respectively. So we have the linear layout I mentioned earlier, where we're going to have a divider, animate layout changes, which is true. We actually added some padding to the left and right 16 dp. So we close up with a scroll view, and we set the empty view to show when there are no items in the list. Okay, there's a text view that actually holds add an item above to get started. Okay, that's fine. And we close up the frame layout of the layout changes. Okay, let's look at the activity mail, which is the default activity. This is a list view that actually are going to where we're going to enumerate the effects, where we're going to have the layout changes, the card flip, and the and different transitions. It's just going to hold on to a list view. Okay, let's look at this activity screen slide. Okay, this is for a slider where we call on the view pager support version 4. Okay. Also, let's look at the activity zoom, where we're going to zoom some pictures. We're going to have some thumbnails of pictures, and we're going to zoom up to a larger view for focus. Okay, it's a frame layout as well, where we have the linear layout, which is layout with, and the rotation is vertical. We have a text view, which is touch a photo to expand it, and also we have another linear layout right inside, which is going to be for the larger screen, which is just like two segments of the main screen. Okay, where we call on the command droid.animationsDemo touch highlight image button. This is a Java class we call on. So when we actually touch on the thumbnail, we're going to have a larger picture right beneath it. Okay. We set an ID of thumb button 1 and thumb button 2 because we have two pictures. Okay. That's why we have to set it this way. And also we close it up with in the linear layout. And we have an image view that we actually display the larger view of these thumbnails, up here. Okay, because we have two images, that's why we have two of these. So that's just simple. I would like us to go to check out the Animator directory. Let's look at the card flip left in. No, this is the animation. Okay, we have the object Animator, where we have a value from 1 to value to 0, where the property name is alpha and the duration is 0. Okay, the value from minus 180 to 0, and also the property name is rotation y, interpolator, accelerate, decelerate, and we also have the duration of 300. Okay, that's fine. We have the card flip left out. Just going to look at two of it. Okay, where we have the value from 0 to 180, that's 180 degrees, where the property name is rotation y, and the duration is 300, which is like 3 seconds. Okay, the object Animator is from 1 to 0 as well, and the property name is alpha. So we're going to start the offset of 150. Alright, that's fine. You can also check out the other ones. Just for the for time constraint, I would like to go straight to my Java classes, where we have the card flip activity, the crossfade activity, the layout changes activity, the main activity, the screen slide activity. Now these are all holding on to the XMLs I've mentioned earlier. So let's first of all look at the main activity. The main activity extends list activity, because we're going to actually have a list view. Oh, this class describes an individual sample. Okay, so we have a class called sample, where we have two fields, the character sequence title and the activity class. We have the public sample, which is the constructor, where we pass 3 parameters. First is the title res ID, and also the class generic, which extends the activity class. So we have to assign the activity class and the title to its corresponding values. Okay, we have a toString method where we have to return the title to string. Okay, we have a sample array where we have the onCreate method that call on the super onCreate and set this content view to relate to the layout of the activity main. So we are going to instantiate the list of samples in the array. So you have new sample, the simple crossfade, which is going to hold up to the crossfade activity class. We have the card flip. These are going to just be in a list format, which is going to actually call on the card flip activity class with a corresponding class, and also the screen slide call on screen slide activity. The zoom will call on zoom activity, while the layout changes will call on the layout changes activity. That's fine. Let's quickly look at the crossfade, which is the first activity on the list. This extends activity. The flag indicator whether content is loaded, text is shown or not. So we have the M content loaded. The view of view group contains the content. This is one of 2 overlapping views. Okay, we have the M content view, the M loading view, the M short animation duration. Okay, onCreate method, where we're going to set the super onCreate, set the content view to have layout activity crossfade. Okay, we're going to pass in some values to these variable M content view. We get the ID by content. M loading view as well, which is the loader. We get the loading spinner. So we're going to actually hide the content view. So we set visibility to gone, and we're going to retrieve and catch the system default short animation time, where we're going to set the animation duration. We get the resources, we get the integer, we'll pass in the integer, and also the config short anim time. Alright, that's fine. So this for the option menu item selected. So when we press on the nav back button, it's going to call on the main activity class. Okay, that's cool. We have the show content or loading indicator. Okay, this is going to decide when view to hide and which to show this particular method. Okay, it's a boolean, so it's either true or false based on content loaded. So we have the final view, short view. Okay, where we're going to get the M content to the M loading, and also we're going to hide the view. Okay, so we're going to set the show view of the 0% opacity but visible, so that if it is visible, but fully transparent during the animation. So we're going to set the alpha to the show view. I'm going to set the visibility to true, which is visible. Okay. And now we're going to animate the show view to 100% opacity and clear any animation listener set on the view. Okay. So we're going to do that to the animate method. We call on the alpha 1F. We set the duration and we also set the listener. We're going to hide the view of the 0% opacity after the animation ends. So it's going to set its visibility to gone as an optimization step. So we're going to do the same hide the visibility when the opacity is 0%. So these are just what happened there. So let's look at the layout changes. It's going to actually change the layout of or set a kind of list content based on the and populate it to the list view. Okay, so we have on create method where we call on the set content view, which is the activity layout changes. We're going to get a view group. I'm going to find by ID the container. We have on create options menu. We're not going to go through that. We have its corresponding option item selected, which is going to take us to the main activity when you click on the back button. Okay, now we have the add item. What we're going to be adding, in the layout, whereby the layout will continue to change. We're going to populate a sort of list item. Okay, so we're going to instantiate a new row view where we've done with a new view. And we're going to call on the layout list item example. So we're going to set the text in the new row to a random country. Okay, so we're going to pick a random country using the mat.random method based on the countries and the length. Okay, so we're going to set a click listener for the exporting in the row that will remove the row. So we have a click listener. So we set on click listener to it. Okay, so we can remove it as well, based on, because we're going to have an exporting that is going to undo these changes. Okay, so if there are no rows remaining, show the empty view. We're going to do this with this if statement. It's going to actually show the empty view. All right, and we have the array of the countries that we are going to actually iterate through, which is Belgium, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Austria, Russia, Poland, Croatia, Greece, and Ukraine. All right, that's fine. Let's look at the last the last activity, which is the zoom activity. You'll be going through all those activities yourself. Okay. It's going to extend fragment activity. We have the animator mCurrent animator, which is a field, which is going to actually hold a reference to the current animator. Okay. And also we're going to declare mShort animation duration. This is a short animation time duration in millisecond. All right, we have on create method. We're going to set the content view to relate to the layout of the activity zoom. So we're going to hook up clicks on the thumbnail views. So we have a thumbnail, okay, where we have a thumb 1 based on the ID of the thumb button 1. So we're going to set an on-click listener to it, which is going to declare the zoom image thumb based on the drawable image 1. It's right in the drawable folder. The same thing we're going to do to the view 2. So we're going to retrieve and catch the system default short animation time based on the get resources, to get an integer. Okay, we have the options item selected, okay, which is also going to take us to the main activity. We talked about that. So now this is the zoom image thumb. Okay, if there's an animation in progress, cancel it immediately and proceed with this one. So if the current animator is not equal to null, you made a cancel to the mCurrent activity, mCurrent animator. So you're going to load the high resolution zoomed in image. Okay, afterwards, that's after the click. So you're going to run this method once the click has been done on the thumbnail. So you're going to get the final image view, expanded image view. You cast it on to the ID expanded image. Okay, so you calculate the starting and ending bounds of the zoom in image. Now this step is going to involve a lot of math. So where we're going to start the bounds, get the new rectangle, start it with the new rectangle rather, and also for the final bounds, for the global offset, we're going to start it with the new point. Okay, so the start bounds are the global visible rectangle of the thumbnail, and the final bounds are the global visible rectangle of the container view. Okay, so we're going to get the global visible rectangle. So we find the view by ID, get the global visible rectangle of the ID container. So we're going to set an offset to the start bound and the final bounds, X and Y, right? So we adjust the start bounds to the same aspect ratio in the final bounds using the center crop techniques. This prevents undesirable stretching during the animation. Also calculate the start scaling factor. The end scaling factor is always 1.0. Okay, this is the max calculation we talked about. So whereby we do some division with the width and height, so that we're going to scale the picture so that it's not going to squash or stretch unnecessary to its fitted position. So we're going to extend start bounds horizontal. This for the horizontal scaling, okay, and also for the vertical scaling as well. Okay, so we're going to hide the thumbnail and show the zoomed in view when the animation begins. So we're going to hide the thumbnail when the animation begins. So the zoom in view will be put in focus. So we set the pivot point for scale X and Y, transformation to the top left corner. Okay, this is the pivot X and Y, and construct and run the parallel animation for the false translation of and scale properties. So okay, animator set. So we're going to scale the properties based on the X and Y start bounds, and also for the object animator for the offload X and Y. So we're going to set the duration based on milliseconds. I'm going to set the interpolator and add listener to it, whereby we're going to call on the animation end with animation based on the M current animator, and also we're going to do it for the cancel on animation cancel too. So we're going to set start. Upon clicking the zoomed in image, it should zoom back down to the original bounds and show the thumbnail instead of the expanded view. That's when you're clicking the zoom in, it's going to show the thumbnail instead of that. Yes, just to revert back to focus. So you're going to animate the four positioning, sizing, and properties in parallel back to their original values. It's just going to do like undo what has been done. So you're going to get the scale X and Y, and also you're going to set them. Now you're going to need a decelerator interpolator, you know, and also the animator listener adapter. So on animation end, what you're going to do, the expand imagery set visibility to gone, so you take it off. So on animation cancel as well, the expanded imagery set visibility to also to gone. All right, that's fine. I would like to launch this in my animation emulator. I will be uploading the source code. It's a sample source code that I actually got from Google. Okay, that's fine. So I'll be uploading it to my GitHub so that you can actually pick it up from there. You can use any of this animation, the Crossfade, the Cardflip, layout changes, ScreenSlider, zoom activity. So you can actually have a look and feel of how this animation actually goes in Android material design. Okay. Okay. Application has been built successfully. So let me put my journey motion to program. Let's try the first one, which is Crossfade. Okay. All right, we have the navigation scrolling effect. So we click on the toggle indicator, takes us to another activity. It's fine. So we toggle it back, takes us back to the scrolling effect, which is the loading effect. So let's go back to the main activity, which is the list of the animations. Okay, we have the card flip. Let's try it. Let's click on it. Click on the card flip. Okay, take us to the full picture of the Android mascot. So we have a notification material logo here. We click on it, flips up to another picture. Actually, it's going to be more sleeker on the real device. Okay, if you can notice that effect. Okay, it flips up. So it flips up. Okay, let's go back to our main activity. And let's have the screen slide. Okay, we're gonna slide the next menu, the next item. You notice that? Let's go back. Okay. We can also use this navigation bar downwards here. Just click next. Next, next, previous, previous. That's fine. So let's go back to our main activity. We have the zoom. If you notice these two thumbnails that I was explaining earlier, so a click on one of them will give us a larger view of the thumbnail. A click on it again will restore us back to its previous size. The same thing the other one. A click inside restores back. Okay, that's smooth. Let's go back and check out the last animation demo menu. We have the layout changes. Okay, if you notice, we have a plus button, which is the addition button in Android material icons. A click on it, we had a country from the country array created earlier. Another click will continue to populate the list of the country. Now, iterating through the array. If you notice this, we have a cancel sign or a cancel button to take off one of the lists. You can even come to the middle and take off Austria. You can take off Poland. And you can decide to click more on it again. Thank you very, very much for listening. I hope you've been able to understand these animation effects. You can use it in the course of your application. You can add it up and spice up your UI and have a smooth and modern UI in Android material design. Thank you once more for hanging out with me, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful time.